Stop buying a separate bottle for every little job. My grandmother could stretch a dollar further than anyone I've ever known, and one brown bottle did half the work in her house. She used hydrogen peroxide for nearly everything, and it took me years to see she was quietly keeping money the rest of us just hand to the store. One bottle covers the bathroom, the laundry room, the kitchen, even the garden, jobs we'd normally buy 5 different products for. And once you see how many things it quietly replaces, the savings add up a whole lot faster than you'd ever guess. So let me show you 19 ways to use it, getting better all the way down to my number 1. Number 19. Let's start with something that'll make you look at your bed a little differently. Pull the case off your pillow and take a good look at it. If it has gone yellow, that is years of sweat and body oil soaked way down into the fibers, and most folks either flip it over or throw the whole thing out. Don't. Toss it in on a hot cycle with your regular detergent and about a cup of hydrogen peroxide. The peroxide works its way in and lifts out that yellow the oil's left behind, and they come back so much brighter you will honestly do a double take. Wash 2 at a time so the machine stays balanced, and let them dry all the way through. A decent pillow runs $20, $30 or more these days, so that little cup of peroxide just saved you from buying brand new ones. Number 18. Speaking of saving money, let's talk about those berries that go fuzzy and moldy about 2 days after you carry them home. That is not bad luck. There are mold spores already living on the skin back at the store, just waiting to take hold in your fridge. So before you put them away, fill a bowl with cold water, add a good splash of hydrogen peroxide, and let your berries take a quick bath in it for a few minutes. It knocks back those spores so the fruit does not turn on you halfway through the week. Give them a thorough rinse under cold water afterward, let them dry, then store them. The first time I tried this, I could not believe my strawberries were still good a week and a half later. When a little carton of berries costs what it does now, squeezing a few more days out of every one adds up faster than you would think. Number 17. Here is one for anybody who gets a little nervous cutting up raw chicken, and let's be honest, that is all of us. After you have used a board for raw meat, hot soapy water is a good start, but it does not always reach the bacteria hiding down in the knife grooves. So once it is washed, spray it all over with hydrogen peroxide straight from the bottle, let it sit a few minutes, then rinse it off. It kills the germs that get left behind. And here is the part I love. Peroxide breaks down into nothing but water and oxygen, so you are not leaving any harsh chemical residue on the very surface where you fix your family's supper. Those kitchen sanitizing sprays run a good $5 or $6 a bottle, and this does the same job for pennies. Number 16. You have probably got a mug or two with a brown coffee or tea stain ringed inside that no amount of scrubbing seems to touch. Most of us just figure it is permanent and live with it. Here is the easy way. Pour a little hydrogen peroxide into the cup, enough to cover the stain, and just walk away and let it sit. You do not scrub a thing. The peroxide slowly breaks down the tannins, that is the stuff in coffee and tea that does the staining, and lifts it right off the surface on its own. Come back in an hour or so, give it a quick rinse, and that mug looks new again. It works the same on stained food containers, and it costs you next to nothing instead of tossing perfectly good dishes. Number 15. While we are in the kitchen, let's rescue that pan you have almost given up on. You know the one, the bottom is scorched brown and black from something that boiled over, and scrubbing barely makes a dent. Instead of throwing it out, sprinkle a layer of baking soda over the burnt spots. Then pour enough hydrogen peroxide on top to wet it down, and just walk away for 20 or 30 minutes. As it sits, it works its way under that cooked-on layer and loosens its grip so it lifts off with way less elbow grease. This works on glass oven racks and that grimy oven door glass too. A good pan or a new set of racks is not cheap, so a few cents of peroxide and baking soda just saved you a real chunk of money. Number 14. Here is one that will save you some good linens, and honestly it is a little satisfying to watch happen. Blood stains, the kind you get from a scraped knee, a nosebleed on the pillowcase, or a little nick in the kitchen. Most folks figure once it has set in, that sheet or that good shirt is ruined. Not so. Pour a little hydrogen peroxide right onto the spot and watch it foam up. That fizzing is the peroxide reacting with the blood and breaking it apart so it lifts up out of the fibers. Let it work a few minutes, then rinse with cold water, never hot, since hot water cooks the stain in for good. Just dab a hidden spot first on anything colored, since peroxide can lighten it. A cheap bottle of peroxide saves a whole set of sheets you might have tossed for just a few cents. Number 13. Let's head into the bathroom, because this is where peroxide really starts saving you money. Take a look at the grout between your tiles. If it has gone gray and dingy, that is dirt and soap scum settled down into it, and those special grout cleaners are pricey and full of harsh fumes. Instead, spray hydrogen peroxide right along the grout lines and let it sit for 10 minutes or so before you scrub. Grout is porous, so it soaks down in and helps lift that gray back toward white without the dizzy bleach smell. For the really set-in spots, sprinkle a little baking soda first, then spray the peroxide over it and let it foam. It brings that bright, clean look back to your whole bathroom for next to nothing. Number 12. Now to the spot most of us dread, the mold and mildew that creeps into the corners of the shower, around the caulk, and along that rubber seal on the window. A lot of folks grab the bleach right away. Here is what is worth knowing. Bleach mostly takes the color out of mold, so the surface looks clean even when it is not really gone, and it comes right back in a couple of weeks. Peroxide goes after it differently. Spray it on, let it foam and sit, then wipe. It actually helps break the mold down instead of just bleaching it pale, so you are not scrubbing the same corner over and over every month. Keep a spray bottle in the bathroom and hit those spots whenever you see them starting. Number 11. Before we leave the cleaning stuff behind, let's talk about your dishwasher, because this one surprises people. The machine that washes everything actually gets pretty grimy itself. If yours has a musty smell or a cloudy film building up inside the door, pour about a cup of hydrogen peroxide into the bottom and run it empty on a hot cycle. It cleans out the gunk and slime hiding in the seals and the drain where all that smell comes from. Your dishes come out cleaner, the machine runs better, and you just skipped buying one of those $4 or $5 dishwasher cleaner tablets that do the exact same thing. All right, we are halfway down, and look how much that one little bottle has already replaced. But the second half is where the real savings are. The ones hiding behind fancy labels and big prices. Stick with me all the way down, because number 1 is the one that puts the most money back in my pocket. Number 10. Now let's head outside, or really just over to the windowsill. If you have got a houseplant that is drooping and looking sad even though you have been watering it faithfully, here is the surprising part. You have probably been loving it to death. Too much water chokes the roots so they cannot get any air, and that is what starts root rot. Here is the fix. Mix about a teaspoon of hydrogen peroxide into a cup of water and pour it into the soil. As it breaks down, it releases a little burst of oxygen right down at the roots, and it can help stop that rot and give a struggling plant a real fighting chance to bounce back. It works on tired seedlings out in the garden too. It is a few cents instead of giving up and buying a brand new plant every spring. Number 9. And while we are at those houseplants, let's deal with something that drives everybody crazy. Those little flies that hover around the pots and follow you across the room. Those are fungus gnats, and the real problem is not the flies you see, it is their larvae living down in the damp top layer of the soil. So the next time you water, use a mix of 1 part hydrogen peroxide to about 3 parts water and pour it right into the dirt. It will fizz when it hits, and that fizzing is it taking care of the larvae on contact while it stays perfectly safe for the plant itself. Do that for a couple of waterings and let the top of the soil dry out in between, and you break the cycle for good, with no pricey little bug sprays needed. Number 8. Here is one almost nobody knows about, and it feels like a little magic trick. You know how white plastic things turn an ugly yellow over the years? An old fan, a power strip, the outlet covers, even an old kitchen appliance. That yellowing is just what light does to the plastic over time, and it does not mean the thing is worn out. Brush some hydrogen peroxide over the yellowed plastic, set it out in direct sunlight for a few hours, and the sun and the peroxide work together to pull that yellow right back out. It comes out looking years younger. It is a wonderful way to make something you already own look new again instead of paying to replace it. Number 7. Let's talk about something you put in your mouth twice a day, your toothbrush. It sits there in a damp bathroom, which is exactly where germs like to grow, and a quick rinse under the tap does not really get them. Once a week or so, just drop the head of your toothbrush into a small cup of hydrogen peroxide for a few minutes. You will see it fizz a little as it cleans off what a rinse leaves behind, then rinse it well before you use it again. It is a tiny habit that costs almost nothing, and it works on retainers and mouthguards too, instead of those pricey cleaning tablets. Real quick though, have you ever noticed how peroxide only comes in that dark brown bottle, never a clear one? There is a good reason. The second sunlight hits it, that peroxide starts turning back into plain water, and the brown bottle is what keeps it strong. So here is a quick tip. If you pour some out and it does not fizz and bubble anymore, it has gone flat and turned to water, and it is time for a fresh bottle. Keep the cap on and keep it in the dark, and that $1 bottle lasts you a good long while. Number 6. Now look down at your white sneakers, the ones that have gone gray and dingy and made you think about just buying a new pair. Do not do that yet. Work a little hydrogen peroxide and baking soda together into a thick paste, scrub it onto the canvas and the rubber soles with an old toothbrush, and then set them out in the sun to dry. The peroxide pulls the gray up out of the fabric, and the sun helps brighten everything back up. They come out looking close to new again. A decent pair of sneakers is not cheap these days, so a few cents of this saves you from replacing them before you really need to. Number 5. After being on your feet all day, here is a nice one. Skip those expensive foot peels and creams at the drugstore and make your own soak at home. Fill a basin with warm water and add a good splash of hydrogen peroxide, then sit back and soak your feet for about 15 minutes. It softens up rough, cracked heels and calluses, so they are much easier to deal with afterward, and it can help with the itch of athlete's foot too. It is the kind of little at-home spa treatment that costs you almost nothing instead of $8 or $10 a tube. Number 4. This one has saved so many shirts I had already written off. You know those yellow sweat stains that build up under the arms and around the collar of your white shirts? The ones regular washing never seems to touch. Here is the mix that finally works. Stir together about 1 part dish soap and 2 parts hydrogen peroxide, then sprinkle a little baking soda right on the stain. Work it in, let it sit for an hour or so, then wash like normal. The 3 together break down that built-up sweat and oil that turn the fabric yellow. Just keep this to your whites and lighter colors, and test a hidden spot first on anything darker, since peroxide can act like a mild bleach. Saving a good shirt beats spending $20 on a new one. Number 3. Here is one of my favorites because it saves real money. Those whitening mouthwashes and strips at the store can run $8, $10 or more, and the active ingredient in a lot of them is the very same peroxide already sitting in your cabinet. Mix 1 part hydrogen peroxide with 2 parts water, swish it around your mouth for about 30 seconds, and spit it all out. Do not swallow it. It freshens your breath by knocking out the bacteria back there, and used now and then, it gently helps brighten your teeth over time. Just keep it to once or twice a week since it is strong, and never use it straight without watering it down first. It does the very thing they charge a fortune for behind a fancy label. Number 2. This one is a lifesaver for anybody with pets. If your dog or cat has an accident on the carpet, blot up what you can, then spray the spot with hydrogen peroxide. Let it sit a few minutes and blot again. It breaks down both the stain and that lingering smell at the source instead of just covering it up. Test a hidden corner of the carpet first to be safe, since it can lighten some fibers. And here is the famous one every pet owner should know. If your dog ever gets sprayed by a skunk, skip the tomato juice, it does not really work. Mix a quart of hydrogen peroxide, a 1/4 cup of baking soda, and a teaspoon of dish soap in a bucket. Work it through their fur right away. Keep it well clear of their eyes and rinse thoroughly. Mix it fresh and use it right then. Never store it in a closed bottle. It is the one recipe that actually gets that awful smell out. Okay, number 1 is the biggest money saver on the whole list. But before I get to it, can I ask one quick favor? If these are the kind of simple tricks you like, the ones that quietly keep a few more dollars in your pocket, go ahead and tap subscribe and turn on the notifications. I've got a lot more of these coming, and I would love for you to come along for them. All right, here it is. Number 1, the one I have saved for last, the Oxygen Laundry Booster. You have seen those big tubs of oxygen powder that promise to brighten your whites and lift out stains, and they can run $15 or more. Here is the secret. The active ingredient in most of them is just a powder that releases peroxide once it hits the water. So skip the middleman and the markup. Add about a cup of hydrogen peroxide straight into the wash with your load of whites. It brightens them, it helps lift out sweat and stains, and it freshens everything up, all for a few cents instead of $15 a tub. Just keep it to your whites and color fast loads and add it to the water rather than pouring it right onto one spot. Do this every week and the savings really add up over a year. And that is 19 ways that one little dollar bottle quietly replaces a whole cabinet full of pricey products. I would love to know which one you are gonna try first, or if there is a peroxide trick that I missed. Come tell me about it in the comments. I love swapping these little tricks with you all, and it looks like YouTube has lined up another video right there that it thinks you will like. I will see you over there.